Hey you guys, I'm Carly Rose. Welcome back to my channel. So today I've got another DIY video. It's another fashion DIY. Basically what I'm doing is revamping a dress. The dress is like a midi length dress, so it's not quite long enough for what I want it for. I wanted to make it a maxi dress. So I've got two of them. It's got a 3-tiered skirt. So what I'm planning on doing is taking off the bottom tier of one of the dresses and attaching it to the bottom of the other one.
So I'm still wearing my jeans underneath because it's too cold and I couldn't be bothered to take them off. But I think this would look so much better if the skirt was floor length and if this panel line came up to here and then I add the extra tier underneath. And I'm not sure how I feel about this necktie. I think I'm just going to cut that off. And to finish off the dress, I think I'm going to add some embroidery and beads to these flowers to bring out this really cute print even more. I'm loving how my hair matches these flowers as well. So let's get started. The first thing I did was lay out my two dresses to decide which was the one that I wanted to use the top half for, just because the pattern placement can be a bit different. So once I had decided which one I wanted to use, I had a look on the inside of the skirt at the seams. Because this is a 3-tiered skirt, that means there's 3 panels which are sewn together. And what I want to do is take the bottom one off one dress so that I can attach it to the other dress. And then I also wanted to move that seam up like I said earlier, so I needed to cut that seam as well. So right now I'm just trimming off the overlocked edge of one of those seams. It's much easier to just cut the whole thing off with overlocking because the fabric's probably going to fray anyway if you do take the time to unpick it. And then I'm just going to cut along as close to that stitch line as I can. So you just cut that off all the way around the dress. This dress has a split in it, so once I got to the edge I just cut through. Once you've cut all the way around, you can put aside that top part of the dress. You can use that again later to make something else out of the top, but we just need the bottom part for now. And because it was a little bit gathered when it was attached to the dress, I needed to give it a press, so I just went and ironed it and made it all nice and flat. And then I just decided to go back with the scissors and trim the edge because, like I said, because it was gathered, it was just a little bit rough, so I just went and made that as straight as I could. And now that piece is ready to get attached to the other dress. And then the next thing I wanted to do was move that waist seam up, so I'm just measuring how much of that panel I want to cut out and marking it with a white marker because it's on black fabric. And then I'm just going to draw a straight line matching up all my measurements and I'll cut along that line. I also had to go back and cut along the stitch line again so that I was cutting out about 7 centimeters of fabric to take away from that panel. And I always save these little scraps of fabric because they can always be used for something else later, maybe like a cute scrunchie or something like that. And I'm just going to press this and trim the excess off again. And then we're ready to sew the pieces together. So now I'm just going to pin together the panels that I'm going to sew with right sides facing each other so that the seams end up on the inside of the dress. I'm just going to pin all along there to keep it nice and straight and then set up my sewing machine and stitch across that line. This is the bottom panel, so there isn't very much gathering in this one. So I was able to just kind of ease it in by kind of stretching the fabric a little bit to make them match. But now when I do the waist seam, I need to gather in some of that fabric. So this is just a little bit more tricky, but it's perfectly easy once you know what you're doing. So I forgot to film the first step, but you have to run 2 parallel stitch lines across the top near where you're going to put your seam in so that you can pull these threads and gather in the fabric evenly. So I've already gone ahead and done that. Basically, I'm just going to pin together the 2 pieces of fabric at the side seams, and then I'm going to find the center front of both the top half of the dress and the bottom half that I'm attaching, the skirt. And when I find the center of both those parts, I'll pin those together, and then you can kind of find the quarters as well by halving those 2 sections and then matching the centers of those. And this means that when you attach the pieces together, they're going to be evenly gathered all the way around. So after pinning it all down, I pulled the threads at the end of those parallel lines that I stitched off camera and just gathered in that fabric so it was the same width as the fabric I was sewing it down to. And then I just went ahead and sewed the seam. Once the seam's done, I pull out the threads from those parallel lines that I stitched. We don't need them anymore, they were just there to help gather in the fabric. And then I had a look at how those neckties were attached, and it turned out they were really easy to just unpick off because they were just little separate ties attached on the collar of the dress. Then when everything was sewn together, I just kind of put the embroidery where I thought it looked good, and I added some beads as well. And here's what it looked like. And I decided to wear it with some over-the-knee stockings and these really cute velvety crush boots that I have.
So that's the final look. That's how the dress turned out. I'm so happy with it. I think it was perfect for this occasion. It's a winter wedding. It was freezing, but the full-length dress with some tights underneath made sure I stayed warm. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more fashion-related DIYs. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.